So welcome back everybody, my name is Andrew and you're watching the Kelley's Country Life. If this is your first time visiting the channel, thanks so much for stopping by. We do videos like this all the time. All right, so I can already just sense the confusion in our everyday viewers' minds right now. They're wondering, what is that? Why do you have it? Don't worry, we're going to explain all that here in this episode. The radar is blowing up. We've got some fast movers inbound, so to speak. I want to go out and run this real quick. Let's grab the root rake, get some limbs out of the way, fire this up, test it, and then I'll tell you all about it and why I have it. So first start of this mower in probably a few years. Let's see. Let's mow up around this tree, and I'm gonna run it a little high because I do have stumps in here and I cannot remember the height adjustments and settings on this. We'll get all that figured out. There you see the top. That is one really nice thing about having a stump jumper on one of these mowers. All right, so let's talk real quick on why on earth I have another mower at the property. And we're gonna talk real quick because a lot of rain come behind you. I wanna get some adjustments made, and I wanna get back out in the field and do a little more mowing with this. Let's show this thing off in this episode. So reason number one, why this is at the house right now, well, the price was right. So believe it or not, this is actually my father's mower and I just purchased it from him. He has mostly wooded property. Believe it or not, this mower has been sitting up under a shed and has not ran in years. So he reached out a while back and said, hey, I'm thinking about selling this mower. I just don't use it at all anymore. I was like, I really don't need another mower, but there are some situations to where this would really benefit me. So we talked about it and I decided to purchase it from him. And if any of y'all know my father, things that he gets, he's far more particular than me. You always buy stuff that he sells because it's gonna be barely used and in the best condition possible. So believe it or not, this mower is probably 7 or 8 years old. Look at it. Other than a little bit of rust sitting up and just getting rainwater on it, it looks almost brand new because really it is. So it's a Frontier, a 6-foot Frontier bush hog right here, rotary mowers, the technical term here. This is what you see at the John Deere dealerships, and Frontier is a manufacturer that makes products for John Deere, so it's not technically John Deere, but They sell it there at their place. This is what I consider a very light duty brush hog. I've always wanted a medium or heavy duty one, but with that said, they're so expensive now, I knew that I would never cough up the money to buy one. They're just thousands upon thousands of dollars. This will still cut thicker material better than my flail wheel, and the biggest reason this will get up under all these low-hanging limbs and rough areas that I have that I'm slowly wanting to clean up around the property, because it sticks so far out. Now that's one of the negatives of these too. It sticks so far out, it swings around everywhere when you turn. It's going to take up a lot more room underneath my barn there, but that's okay. I've got situations to where this type of mower is going to be perfect for me. Now, we're not going to get into too many details and specs, because the second reason that I bought this mower is, well, I make social media content for a living, and one of the bigger videos that I've ever made on the channel was comparing a rotary mower, which I didn't have at the time and didn't include in the video, a flail mower and a finish mower. Now I have all three types of mowers, something very few people get the opportunity to get their hands on, test, learn, and actually see. So I plan on making a really large in-depth video comparing a rotary mower, a flail mower, and a finish mower. Probably going to include my zero turn too, since I have all four types, and show off to people where these are good at, where they're bad at, the weaknesses, things like that. So I was heavily influenced as a content creator to purchase this as well. We've got to constantly keep new stuff and fresh stuff on the channel. So before we go do any more mowing, I've already checked the gearbox has a good level of oil in it. It looks nice and clean, but we need to adjust this slip clutch right here. As you can see, there's actual clutch packs in there, and if you hit something major with this, those clutches are designed to slip, not damage your gearbox, and not transfer whatever energy that you just got stuck on or hit through the driveline into the tractor. Now this particular shaft also has a shear bolt. This is a grade 5 bolt that's specifically designed to shear should you get in a major bind. So it's kind of got double protection there. Now here's the bad thing. Like I said, this mower's been sitting up for literally years, has not been used. You can already see rust and everything else there, and it was in a spot to where it could get some blowing rain. These clutch packs will actually, especially if they get moisture in them, they'll corrode and they'll lock up. So you no longer have the protection there that you think that you have. So what you should do once a year, or at least every so often, loosen up all these bolts. We're not going to take them completely out, but loosen them up, engage the tractor. It will actually slip and burn those discs in there, which is a good thing. You're polishing them off, you're freeing them up, you're getting them unstuck, and then we'll tighten these bolts back to the manufacturer's specs. Luckily, I had the manual, and it's telling me we don't actually go back to a certain torque spec. There's this plate right here with a gap on the front side, and you have to do an actual spacing, and they call for a 4mm spacing. I don't have a 4mm filler gauge out here, but I did fool around in the shop and found 2 thin stack washers that perfectly fit in and fill that gap. They just loosely go in and out, so now I know to tighten these bolts and that front plate back after I burn the clutches in to this thickness right here. All right, so everything's nice and freed up. As you can see, I don't actually have the protective plastic cover here. It wasn't on it. So we can easily, from the tractor bed, see if these clutches are slipping. The other thing you could do if you have the big cover and can't see that, draw you a mark on the plate itself and then on the hub assembly down here, because they're 2 separate pieces. Line a mark up, spin your tractor, spin your clutch, burn it in, and if you come back and those marks are still lined up, you didn't slip your clutch. If they're no longer lined up, you know that you did and you burn it in correctly. All right, as you can see, those were actually stuck pretty good. It took 5 or 6 times. I even had to rev the tractor up and then engage it to actually get those to break loose, start making that noise, that squealing noise. And then I engaged it several more times. And as soon as I heard the squeal stop, I knew they were kind of slipping and freeing themselves up. And I'll try to tighten these evenly, kind of like you do car lug nuts, things like that. I don't want to just tighten one at the same. I don't just want to tighten one all the way down and then move right on to the next one. So I'll keep kind of jumping around here. All right, so let's go do a little mowing and show you what I ultimately bought this for. Now later on in another episode, we'll get more into the greasing, changing gearbox oil, sharpening blades, all that good stuff. Like I said, I have a really big series plan on multiple types of tractor mowers and comparing them to a zero turn. And we're going to do everything from thick brush cutting to grass, all kinds of things, and show off and try to really help people make a decision on what may be the best mower for them to buy for their situation. As we're heading out to the field here, you see we have trees everywhere, all around the property. We have about 30 acres of trees. And the problem is none of my mowers actually stick out the back and allow me to mow up underneath all these tree limbs. So I've got to spend some time coming out here dropping all these limbs as well. But let's just face it, for the rest of my life, for situations like what I'm looking at right here, I'd love to be able to mow up underneath some of these limbs without backing my tractor glass or anything else in. Hunt. Here's an area I like to walk through. I need to get it mowed out better. It's perfect for backing in there and doing it. And I just hit a stump, pretty decent one. Everything looks to be working. The clutch probably slipped like it's supposed to. I'm going to go in here and back over a few of these small little trees. We should mow them up, absolutely no problem. This field for the last 2 days, and we've got so much rain every day it's just stopping. I have just an acre or so left to mow, maybe a little more. So let's mow it with this and see how well it cuts the grass. These mowers are not designed for grass cutting, but a lot of people do knock down their pastures with it. can tell you that mowing sure does make a tractor drink some fuel. And although we'll cover this in an upcoming episode, I truly do believe a rotary mower like this, especially in grass, works harder than a flail or a finish mower. Well, to all my tractor loving friends, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. And don't worry, many more episodes coming. This was kind of just the initial break-in of this. These particular mowers are known to have a couple of weak areas and problems, and we're going to address that in an upcoming video. We're going to break the welder out, kind of beef this thing up in a couple of weak spots that I know about to make for sure that it'll give us the long life that I'm looking to get out of it. I can tell you there's already some things. I haven't run this mower in years and I forgot a lot about it, to be honest with you. There's some things I really enjoy a whole lot more about this style mower than the ones I currently have. And then there's some things that I don't like so much about it, but that's okay. There is no perfect mower, no perfect attachment, perfect tractor, nothing in this world. But we'll talk about a lot of that in an upcoming episode. Thank y'all so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next video. Wow, that is surprisingly clean. I've mowed a lot of wet stuff today. If this stays that clean, that's gonna be one of my favorite features about this style mower. I cannot believe that clean with all the junk I have mowed today.